Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Saturday, October 16th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am live. Welcome to my group, guys. Welcome to my live broadcast, 3 hours. So glad you could make it. And I'm so glad you're enjoying the broadcast. Welcome to my Facebook peeps who come in and chat. Welcome to my lurkers. Those are my Facebook people who come in but don't say anything, which is fine. But we'd still love to see ya. Just drop in, say hello, and then you can lurk again. Oh my. And welcome to my YouTube viewers. All right. I hope all is well with you guys today. I have no complaints at all. I'm just very glad to be here. So yeah, when you come in the room, if you would zip me a comment real quick, that would be appreciated. I see I've got some people in here, but I'm not seeing comments yet. So I'm planning on working on various colorings tonight. I've got several going on. There we go. Hi, Ash. I gotcha. Thank you. So I've got several projects that I've been working on. And I've been really enjoying it. Hi, Angela. Angela, you've been AWOL lately, but that's okay. Angela, do me a favor and type my name with a capital L, capital I, capital L. That helps me see it better. All right. So we've got our ice princess, whose name is Allie, A-L-Y. Oh, Maggie said that she's watching church. She'll be back. Happy Saturday. Thanks, Maggie. See you in a little bit. So I hope everybody's doing okay. All right. So I've been working on several projects. This is from A Colorless Kingdom by Chris Ortega. This is Chibi, or Victorian Chibi. And this is my Albrechet Durer that I've been doing the grayscale on that you guys have really been enjoying. Adam and Eve, obviously. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the different projects. I've been enjoying bringing them to you. All right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and work on the Victorian Chibi for a little bit. I want to show you something that I've done off camera. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. I gave our lady friend a little mole. Couldn't resist. And that was on purpose. You know how sometimes when you have things happen to your pieces and happy accidents. Oh, yeah. So this was an on-purpose thing that I did, and I think it makes her look really cool. Okay, so let's get coloring. Don't forget that Wanda's got a contest with her buds and butterflies. So she's all excited. Alright, so let me do a little bit of cleanup here. Don't forget that I told you that when you are coloring, even with a paper towel, sometimes you'll still get a little bit of smearing. No biggie. I like to keep my piece clean. So I'll take a few minutes, or not minutes, a few seconds to clean that off. Dorothy, hello. Dorothy, say hello to us before you disappear in color. Dorothy watches us every night, but she never says anything, which is fine. Zoom out. Hello, Rhonda. All right, so I'm just doing a little bit of cleanup here. Dorothy, good to see you. Rhonda, good to see you. Hello, Jenny. I see Jenny through Rhonda. Excuse me. Okay, I'm done with that. I am done cleaning up. So before you guys get your nose into your coloring while you're watching, can you tell me something positive that happened to you today? Something that's going on with your family? All right, so I'm going to get these flowers cleaned off. Jenny was fascinated with watching your coloring of the hair and loved the picture. Good. Good, good, good. Jenny, we got to get you just to go to bed a little bit later, an hour later, and get up a little bit later. That way you can start joining us. Angela said she went to a fall festival at a new church. It's Hillcrest Baptist, going again tomorrow. Oh, you're going to a new church. So how did you find out about that new church? Okay, so I'm just cleaning up these flowers a little bit. So the question that comes up, let me get these cleaned off a little bit. Is, do you want to make solid colors on your flowers or do you want to make different colors? So Angela said they came by one day to invite people in my area to a church barbecue a few months back after I left the LDS church. Okay, gotcha. All right, let's color a few flowers on here. I want to get the background done, and then I want to show you a couple things I have in mind for this. And we've also got some fringe to color as well. Oh, Dorothy's got fantastic news. She has had her last radiation treatment, and now she's done with doctors for a while. Amen. Oh, Dorothy, that is fantastic news. Thank you for sharing that. Dorothy, you're just a tough old bird. And you showed those doctors, didn't you? Yay, Dorothy. That is definitely a celebration. Okay. So, Rhonda, do you think that we're going to get Jenny to work on switching up her hours? Come on, Jenny, you can do it. Hello, Maddie. All right. So I'm going to work on the trim of my curtains here. Zoom in. So I'm using alcohol markers, majority on this particular picture. These are my Cali Arts. And this color is pastel pink. Pastel pink. Poo poo poo. Zoom in. So let's go ahead and get some color on here. Now, don't be discouraged if you don't have alcohol markers. You can still look and see at the general color layout. You've got your colored pencils. So you've got lots of opportunity. Dorothy says she's trying to figure out what to color next. What was the last thing you colored, Dorothy? All right. So let's get our base color down with this pink. Oops. Now I want you to notice that I'm not coloring the edge here. We can get a lay of the land here and see how this puppy's going to look. Rhonda, what are you working on these days? And Ashley, what are you working on these days? All right. So we've got a nice pink base here. Oh, there you go, Dorothy. A grayscale picture from Jane Madej. That'll be a goodie. All right. Let's go ahead and get these tie backs colored up. All right, I'm going to zip you across to the next one here. There you go. How pretty is that? Zoom out. Rhonda says she just started a new picture from Vintage Classic Coloring Pages by Tatiana Stilova. Yeah, let me adjust my camera just a little bit here. Zoom out. Dorothy says, I have so many books to choose from, I just don't know what I'm in the mood for. Close your eyes and put your finger on one of them. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this trim. Now, let's see what I want to do here. How many books do you have, Dorothy? Zoom in. Zoom in. So I'm going to go ahead with a darker pink. This is my Cali art still. And this is called Vivid Pink. And that works out beautifully. So notice that I have a nice distinguishing color between the red and the pink that I already have. So that looks pretty cool. Dorothy says, I think I'll just watch you for a while. I haven't counted. Okay. Take a guess, Dorothy. 10, 15, 100. So there's a question for discussion, just out of curiosity. How many books do you guys have? Ashley, throw me a number. Rhonda? Maddie? Okay, here we go. All right, let's get you turned here. Rhonda says about 15. Angela says 200 plus. Okay. Maddie says I have 12 Don Boyer books alone. Ooh. You should tell Dawn that. Dorothy says she has about 60 books or more. Okay. All right. Zoom out. Look how cool that looks. Zoom out. Zoom out. So that piping looks really good on those curtains. So, and I also want you to notice too, is when I did these curtains, I did these in the one shade of red. And then when I did the valance, I did that in a lot darker color. Rhonda says, oops, I need to catch up big time. Oh gosh, it's not quantity, it's quality. It really is. So you guys need to tell me what you think of that mole that I put on her. All right, let's get some ruffles. Ruffles have ridges. Okay, so I've got a Brett Funner. Yeah, mine, mine is over a 7-year period of collecting books. Yeah, exactly, Angela. And she's got her favorite artists. Maddie loves them all. Angela, who do you prefer? This is Raspberry Rose. Brett Funner 520. Okay. Now, you know I wasn't going to leave these ruffles the way this is, right? Okay, zoom in. So, Angela, who are your fav artists? Zoom in. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to shade up. Our ruffles here. So we need to take a look and see what's what as far as what's sticking out and what is behind. Angela says Dawn Boyer, Demetria Victoria, Jade Summer, Johanna Bosford. Okay. Oh, we know who you meant, Angela. So what I want you to notice here, zoom in, zoom in. Underneath all my folds, I'm going ahead and adding my shadow, and then I'm bringing that out. See how I'm bringing that out, blending it out. Now it looks wonky close up. How many books do I have? I probably have about 150 maybe. 150 to 175, and like you, Angela, it's just coloring over the collection over the years. And a lot of that collection is because you guys ask me to pick up books or you gift them to me, which is greatly appreciated because you want me to color certain things. And yeah, Angela, if you could try and remember that capital L on my name, that would be very helpful. Okay, so, oh, and that reminds me, Angela, how are your classes going? You said you passed your English class with flying colors, right? A? Okay, so I want you to notice here that I'm going ahead and I'm shading this area just a little bit because it's a backward ruffle. It has depth on it, and then I'm going through and I'm going to highlight these edges a little bit. Now, I know that that's great, Angela. And what are your classes now? Okay. Angela says she's taking American politics now and she has six more to graduating. You are getting there. All right, so notice how I am coloring each individual ruffle here. Where it is darker. You know, it is so interesting talking to you guys and finding out, you know, classes that you're taking or areas of things that you're interested in. Okay, now I also want you to notice, and then Angela says she's going to go in and stay there at the study of genealogy. Yep. I want you to notice now on this top ruffle here that I'm still going to color the edges just a little bit, and that's going to pop that forward. So check out the difference there. Everybody's straight on that. And again, when you do that edge, that denotes depth. and it pulls forward the part that you didn't do. All right. So the areas that are recess, okay, this sticks up, and now we've got an area here that's going behind, so we'll color that up a little. Okay, and I don't know what the artist was doing here. This is wonky. Oh my gosh. So this curve, so I'll treat that as a back piece maybe. I think we should put coloring books or coloring book artists in a room and make them sit down and color their own things. Mary says, ILene, did you see how many books Ben said I had? No, I missed it. Oh, here we go. Mary says, Ben says 700. I do fill 3.5 shells, but many were gifts. Okay, I got it. I saw it. Is that an accurate number, 700? Or is he just joshing us? Hello, Ben. How are you? Say hello. So Mary says that is bookshelves. I don't think quite that many, but a lot. Okay. Good grief. If you had 700, you could open your own bookstore. Ben says he's doing great right now. Maddie says hi. Ben, did you know that you're an honorary member of our group? Okay, let me go back here. Ben, are you behaving yourself? Ben, you got to keep Mary under control, I'm telling you. All right. All right, let me move you back over. Mary says we are celebrating he finally got 100% of the VA compensation after fighting 30 years to get his benefits. Oh my gosh. That's shameful, isn't it? Ben, congratulations. He says thank you and hi to all. Well, Ben, thank you for your service. I truly mean that. I don't just mouth that. You should know by now, Ben, that I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. So, are they giving you guys retroactive pay, or what are they doing with that? Okay, so let's get this back area colored in. Now, I want you to notice that I'm also making a big point of coloring over these lines on the curtains. Okay, Mary says no. It only goes back since he filed again in August. Okay, got it. Well, still. Every time you have to file a new claim, it goes to the date you filed. That sucks because they probably delay the benefit enough and keep that filing date later and later and later until they finally decide to agree on the compensation. Social Security is like that. If you have to fight for your benefits, Social Security will routinely turn down your claim, and then you have to get an attorney to get your own money. I think it's a racket, actually, between Social Security and the attorneys. Okay, let's take a look at this. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Doesn't that look cool? So Mary says they had him at 97%, but the VA math goes to 90. We had to get an outside veterans group this last time. Yeah. Well, the point is you got it, and now you can move on. You go, Ben. Happy for you. Alrighty. So what do you guys think so far of this frilly stuff? We're getting there. All right. Zoom in. Zoom in. So now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to add. I bet you're relieved. Zoom in. Zoom in. So now I'm going to go ahead and shade my tie back, and I want you to notice here that I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of fold in it. And notice how I'm curving that line. And let me roll you over to the other side. So Mary, are you and Ben going to go out and celebrate a little bit? Okay, notice how I'm going ahead and darkening our edges. And notice how I added a fold line. Zoom out. Okay, zoom out. Zoom out. Mary says we went and spent time with our daughter and the grandkids for now. Zoom out. Zoom out. All right, let's take a look at this. And I'm going to get some water while you're looking. Ouch. Ouch, ouch, ouch. So Mary says he still has to take things easy. Okay. All right. Let me change something on my lighting. I've got a little bit of a glare here. That flashing you're seeing is just me changing my lighting. All right, and we'll get the glare off of that, and then we'll be in good shape. So now I'm going to take my Faber-Castell Ivory Color 103, and we're going to go ahead and soften up this color. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So I'm using this ivory to blend in that color, and I want you to see now how soft this is getting. Isn't that beautiful? How many of you have picked up ivory pencils since I've talked about this? Angela, I know that you picked up a different brand, Corinne d'Arche, right? Rhonda got some. Oh, look how cool that looks, guys. All right, let me move you across the screen. Now, it doesn't wipe away your color. Oh, Holden. Okay, that was it. That was it. Thank you, Angela. Oh my gosh, guys, look how beautiful that is. This is what I wanted to show you. Remember, putting color over something like this is not going to ruin your lines. All right, let me brush that. All right, now I'm going to move you over to, hold on, we're getting there. There you go. Onto our ruffles. Missed a spot of shading. Okay. And what I want you to see now is how soft each area is going to get. Now, what you want to do is when you color these ruffles, I tried to say these and this at the same time, and it came out funny. You want to color them individually. What I don't want you doing is just doing a general smeary pass. You want to do each individual segment on here. And notice that I'm doing a combination of coloring in a circle and coloring back and forth. And also notice that the color, for example, the highlight right here that I've got on this, it doesn't go away. We're just softening and smoothing this out. Oh, how pretty that is. Let's see if you can see the difference here. I'm going to turn this for you. And look at the difference now between the two. All right, if I quit moving it around. The two ruffles. The left I've gone over with the ivory. The right, I haven't done that yet. What a difference. Zoom out. Zoom out. See it? Zoom in. Check it out, guys. And that's something too. You can do it on your feathers. Be sure to wipe your pencil off in between applications when you switch color like this. And it makes them look absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to introduce you to a little thought here. The most important part of your coloring is the part that you are currently working on. Zoom in. I'll say that again. The most important part of your coloring is the part that you're working on. Does that make sense? All right. How pretty. Zoom out. Check it out. I love it. Okay, we are making great progress with this, and something is sticking me in the leg. Hold on. So now that you guys have purchased ivory pencils, tell me what you think of them. Do you like what it's doing for your coloring? All right, let's see what kind of trouble we can get into with the flowers. Again, I want to keep these puppies clean so I can go ahead and add my pattern on here, shading. So Angela says, I love my ivory pencil, use it on everything now. Good. So have you noticed, and you've noticed, I love it, it lasts a long time also. Yes, ma'am. And have you noticed a distinct difference now in your coloring? Now don't overuse it. Don't use it just to use it. Use it correctly. Let's get this little staff here. Rhonda says she loves it. It lasts a long time. Yeah. And you've noticed, guys, that your colorings look more professional and smoother. Okay, I think I'm going to go with a variety on my flowers. So tell me, guys, when you're using your ivory pencils, do you go, "Thank you, ILene"? Whee! I'm joking. You don't have to answer that. Okay, so I'm using a blue called Ocean Depths by Brett Funner, 520. Now remember, guys, when I mention my Brett Funners, I either mention 520 or I just say Brett Funner, because I've got two different sets. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Well, at least when you're coloring, you're not saying, "Thanks a lot, ILene." Oh my. And we can tell what kind of mood I'm in tonight. Okay. And again, don't worry about your crumblies. That happens every once in a while. It's Saturday night. All right. And look how pretty these flowers are coming. Oh, that reminds me, guys, I have a funny story to tell you. So, I told you about Vicky, my dog, who listens for my closing remarks, and when I close out and end the broadcast, she comes over and immediately wants a treat. And it's funny because sometimes I've run over time a little bit, and she doesn't come until she hears me say my closing. So my cat, so Vicky gets a treat. You know, I give her a little oatmeal cookie or whatever. I have the iced oatmeal cookie. They're cheap, and I really like them. And what I'm debating right now, and then I'll finish my story, is coloring these flowers different colors. Hold on. So I'm going to go with my light blue now over that center. So my cat also enjoys the taste of salt. I eat a lot of saltine crackers. And my cat now listens for my closing, and she comes up. Isn't that pretty? So both my pets now know when I say those words, and they can tell. They come up and they're looking for treats. And I thought that was kind of funny. Okay. We all love our pets, don't we? All right. I know what I'm going to do. I know. And I forgot to tell you what my pencils were. Brett Funner Ocean Depths for the one color, the blue, the darker blue. And then Brett Funner Aquarius. And these are both out of my 520 set. Hold on, let me get the name there. There we go. All right, I'll go with the different colors. Let's do that. So the haha of the story is not Vicky coming up and asking for treats, but my cat as well, Domino. So I've got my Brett Funner Iris Orchid, 520. Zoom in. Zoom in. They're smart little buggers. I think that's going to be a little too close for you, isn't it? Let me know if that's too close. We all have our little pet stories, don't we? Like I said. Zoom out. Now, one of the reasons that I'm going ahead and adding the highlight in these flowers, and I want you to think about this, is because we've got so many different elements coming on now. We've got a lot going on in the picture, and these flowers now are fighting for dominance. So Rhonda says, Toby is my constant companion. I treasure and am so grateful for him. Hi, Wanda. No, it's not raining. So that was my Iris Orchid. So Wanda's got fun news. Go ahead and tell your news, Wanda. So now I'm using a Dawn Pink, Brett Funner 520. and coloring this in between part. Wanda had a package arriving today, and when she saw the return address, she got all excited because in that package there was, ta-da, the first draft proof print of her book. So I would say that Wanda is pretty excited. Okay, let's go ahead and do this next one. I'm using a geranium pencil, Brett Funner 520, and also a Brett Funner 038. So both Brett Funners, different sets. So what's the next step now in getting that book launched, Wanda? Amy said, I got my first Christmas gift from a good friend from off my Amazon list. I'm not opening it until Christmas, but it either sounds like a puzzle or pencils. Yay! So Wanda says, so I got an email this morning and I have to still adjust page 37 some more. Hey, if it's only the one. Rita from Guatemala. Okay, so here's my lighter pink now on top. So Wanda says, but I have had ideas to make improvements to the manuscript, so I'll work on that tomorrow and resubmit it. Okay, cool. Take your time. You want your first book to be really creative. Oh, how pretty is this? Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my dark blue. And we'll go ahead and color that up. Made a little boo-boo with my marker. Now, I realize that the space is small and it may be a little bit of an annoyance to have to go ahead and try to figure out these small spaces, but trust me, it works. So there's my blue now that I'm going on top of this with. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All right. And then in that lower left-hand corner, I'm going to go ahead and pop in my purple. So we'll do that, and we'll have some really good variety on this. Zoom out. And what I started to say is the reason that I'm doing the flowers this way, I don't know if I said this. You know how we can color flowers differently? You can do the tips dark and, you know, come in lighter on the base, or do the base dark and so forth. So I'm doing the center part of the flowers with the highlight. I think I did say this. And that way they don't get lost in this picture. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a Faber-Castell color 185, which is my yellow ochre. And we'll go ahead and shade in these centers. Thank you, Maggie. Hello, hello. All right, let's take a look. Zoom out. Zoom out. And I've got a little bit of a green area there that I missed on that stem. That always makes me laugh how something like that sticks out like a sore thumb, you know, a teeny tiny miss. Zoom out. And then I'm going to take my Faber-Castell 103, zoom in, and that's my ivory. And now I'm going to go ahead and soften up these petals. And look how gorgeous that looks, guys. And again, for the bazillionth time, it doesn't make your colors go away. Look how soft and beautiful that looks. So Wanda, how long do you think you'll have your changes in? Submit them maybe some early next week? Okay, so notice now how these flowers are softening up. Absolutely beautiful. So let me go ahead and do my purple down here since I've done the one up on the top. Keep my pencil clean. Okay. Oh, you're going to submit it back as soon as tomorrow night. Cool. And then takes 1.5 days to hear back. They're really quick on responding back, aren't they? That's cool. Sounds like Amazon's got a good group. Zoom out. Okay. Zoom out. Let's take a look at this whole thing. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. There you go. All right. Zoom in. So let's go ahead and get this container done. Zoom in. Zoom in. I'm going to use, happens again to be a Brett Funner 520 Hawaiian Sunset. Now I want to stay with neutral colors on this because again we've got so much more going on in this piece. And that's looking pretty scratchy. Zoom in. Zoom in. So I'm going to use my blender pencil to get a good amount of that popcorn out of there. Now, since I'm doing this container, let me get to my edges here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one real quick as well. I get that one done. Now, notice that I've got a little bit of a brown streak in here. And that just adds to the interest of the piece. Okay. And let me zip back here real quick. And we'll go ahead and add a little bit to this one as well. Doesn't have to be anything elaborate. And notice too how I'm going ahead on my leaves. And we'll shadow that up a little bit. Okay. Let's see what we got here. And now I'm coming in with a Van Dyke brown. This is Starjoy, color 110. And now we're going to go ahead and give this pot a little dimension. And again, I want you to notice that I'm shading this in areas below my plants and my leaves. And I want you to see that the more little swirly things that we do with this second color, the more interesting this little puppy looks. So somebody answer me, what's the most important part of the page? That pot is so pretty. Hi, Ellie. Rhonda says what you are coloring. That's right. The most important part of the page is the part that you're working on. But yes, Maddie is correct as well. The face is very important, particularly the eyes. So the point being to my comment is, whatever teeny tiny thing that you're working on, is the important part of the page. All right, let me pop over. So Allie, don't forget I've named that ice princess after you. And I'll probably be working on her tomorrow night, so I hope you can join us. Now, notice too that underneath this little curl here, this vine, I'm going ahead and I'm darkening in by doing circles there. And that just makes the piece look cool. As we're doing the rest of this. Now, I'm kind of doing what I call scribbling coloring, in that I'm allowing my pencil to slide around a little bit when I'm working under the rim, for example. And that's just giving me a really cool look. It's almost like a marbled effect on the pot. And then in a couple places, I'm allowing my pencil to go a little darker. See it? Almost like a stained marble effect. And then, believe it or not, I'm going to take my ivory pencil, Faber-Castell 103, and I'm going to go over that, and I get a really nice, smooth looking pot. Isn't that cool? All right, let me slide you over. Don't get vertigo while I'm doing this. Zoom out. Let's take a look at that. Oh, I noticed an area that I missed some vine. There we go, fix that. Zoom out. Zoom out. Isn't that cool looking? Zoom in. Now, I am on purpose, I'm downplaying these flowers a little bit. Because again, we've got a very busy piece. I wanted these soft looking with the ivory. And if you look at those pots, they almost look like marble, don't they? All right. Now, I won't do the other one. I won't do the flowers on this side because I've already done them for you. Unless you want me to, you got to let me know. Zoom in. Zoom in. So I'm going to clean up my pot a little bit. we'll fix that brown where I went erased. There we go. So Amy says, I just finished and posted my owl page. I'm really close at finishing the book. Oh, yeah. And tell everybody again what the book is, Amy, so people know. Circle of Life. Amy's been working her way through the book. Zoom in. So I'm going to go ahead and use my 20% gray. Prismacolor 1060. That's right, Circle of Life. I've really enjoyed you working through that book, Amy. Now I'm keeping, oh, thank you. It's been enjoyable watching you. All right, now let me go back to my other pot, only because I want to keep this consistent. Got a little bit of brown there. I'm not really going to worry about it. So Amy, how do you feel about working through that entire book? Did you enjoy doing that? Did you get bored with it after a while? I mean, what? Tell everybody your feelings about it. Some people like to do that, is they'll get a book and they'll work through the entire thing. All right, so let me go back this way. I've got this gray down here. Excuse my finger. Excuse. Has anybody else here that's listening worked all the way through a book? So Amy says, I really have. She's enjoyed working her way through one book, not bored at all with it. I have different coloring techniques with each page. Great. So would you recommend to somebody working their way through a book? So Maggie says, I have done a few of Ruth Sanderson books. Okay. So Maddie, you said 2 books, Baby Animals and Secret Garden. So you've worked your way all the way through. You've done every single image in sequence. Amy, you did it. You did them in sequence too, didn't you? Okay, so I'm using my Brett Funner Tempest color out of my 520. So for all of you that work your way through a book, would you recommend somebody do it? So I'm going ahead and I'm darkening my edges. Maddie says yes. And then I'm going to go ahead and lightly shade on my edges. Maggie said, I really enjoyed going through Women of the Bible front to back. Wow. Maggie, when did you do that? Oh, really, Amy? I didn't know that. Amy says I've done quite a few books from front to end. I've got a box in my closet of all the different books I've finished. Wow. And Maggie says she started hers after Thanksgiving of last year, of course. How cool is that? Okay, so notice the shading here of my urn. So when you guys worked front to back on a book, did you color other books as well at the same time? Or did you just stick to that one? Notice how I'm putting the shading here on the edges? And then I'm lightly shading the pedestal. Amy said she just focused on that book, and Maggie says I did every now and then. Okay. Cool. That is pretty neat. Yeah, it's hard for me to do that for obvious reasons. And now I'm going to take my Faber-Castell 103 and I'm going to go ahead and go over the top of this. And we're going to get a very, very smooth look, and that's exactly what I wanted. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Let me slide over to my other piece here. And we're going to go ahead and do our shading like I talked about. Now, as you start to get a wax buildup on your piece, you may notice little bits of wax coming off your pencil. Don't worry about it. I can feel the resistance here with this wax building up. And when you know that that's happening, that's telling you that you need to start adjusting what you're doing and quit fussing with it. Notice how I darkened on either side here a little bit. Same here on this ring right here. And a little bit on this base where I've got the left and the right a little bit darker, and then a highlight in the center. All right. Faber-Castell 103. Let me brush that. That looks a little rough. Got a nice smooth blend. And we have a nice simple planter now that looks pretty darn good. Okay. Zoom out. I'm going to add just a little bit of shading here on my first pot. Forgot to do that. On my edges, and then we'll get that. And then I'm going to lightly color in on this base part here on my left and my right. Isn't that cool? So it looks nice and rounded, and that's exactly what I wanted. And I want you to notice too that on the pot itself, I'm going ahead on the left and right, and I'm shading that a little bit. See that? So even though I have different pattern all the way across here, I'm still going to go ahead and shade that edge just so that we get that dimension. All right, zoom out. Zoom out. Look at that. All right, let me grab a little water here. Hi, Sandy. Okay. Now, I'm going to have our little lady standing on marble. And I did this the other night. for you on the other coloring. The Mythographic Dream Garden. Now, you do remember that when you use a pencil on your page, that pencil does not go away easily. That's why you've got to be very careful when you draw things, because it will not erase well. So, I am deliberately going to use a pencil on my piece because I don't want the lines to go away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw lines to represent marble. And the way that I'm going to do that is I'm just going to put some simple lines here, curve them around a little bit. Now when you draw your lines for your marble, try not to get into too much of a pattern. Okay, you want it to look different. And then, after I sharpen my pencil, because my tip fell out, I'm going to use my Brett Vunner Starjoy. .110 Van Dyke. Yeah, that is a pretty pencil. It's a mechanical pencil. Isn't that pretty? It's got a little Egyptian motif on it. I've had this puppy for years. Hello, Sherry. Let's see if I can get you a little closer here. Isn't that pretty? So I just happened to like it and picked it up and have had it. All right. Zoom in. And now what I'm going to do is go through, and you will notice that when I color over the pencil, this is why you've got to be careful with it. Zoom in. Zoom in. It darkens the pencil line. That's why when you're drawing things in and sketching them in to color later, you've got to be really careful about using pencil. Wanda, tell Sherry your news about your book. And what I also want you to notice while I'm coloring this, oh, Sandy, you've been fighting a migraine all day. Oh, I'm so sorry. Darn it. All right. So notice now how I'm also going over this with the light brown. Pencil. This is still my Van Dyke brown. And I'm highlighting my brown. I am so sorry I was off camera. Zoom out. And I'm also going to go ahead and darken this edge. Sherry said we just turned off our water because the pipe broke. Oh, oh joy of home ownership. Sandy says, I try to take something before it gets bad, her migraine, but woke up with it and it was too late. They usually last 1 to 2 days for me. All right, now we're going to go through here. And add my darker touches of brown. Now, zoom out, zoom out. I'm going to take my white pencil now, and I'm going to start highlighting these areas. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to make it look, in effect, you know how marble gleams? So we need to have this look like it's hard. So Sherry says, mine caused me to go on disability in my 30s along with my RA. Rheumatoid arthritis. I have a complicated intractable migraine headaches. Sometimes a combo headache can last me months, as far as going to sleep and waking up with it. So is there no maintenance medicine that can be taken to head off migraines? Like once a week, once a day, once a month? Okay, notice how I have my smooth areas now with my white pencil. And I got a little bit of white on my shoe. Hold on. Rhonda says beautiful, and I also think charcoal pencils are really good for flooring. Exactly. Maggie said twice a month for me when I was younger, and Rhonda says I used to have bad migraines, now just every so often. I do understand and feel for you guys. Oh. Okay, now, if you remember, marble floors can have a little bit of coloring in it. And so I'm going to come in with a light blue. Zoom in. Zoom in. And that light blue now is going to be near and on top of the areas that I put my gray pencil. And notice how pretty that makes this look. Now, when you put your blue on here, make sure that you blend it. So it's okay if you come out a little bit. You want that to look very soft. Has anybody ever figured out what causes migraines? Now notice how I'm also using this blue on the floor in between my heavier marks. And look how pretty that makes it look. It makes it look like a harder stone surface. And that's what we want. So yes, unfortunately they are very expensive and you can't take them all the time. We're talking about mitigating drugs. That's one reason we had to go home health nurse. Okay. Chemical imbalance in your brain. Maddie says she gets a migraine if she's overtired and stressed. Years ago, the doctors just gave you shots to make you go to sleep. They would give me large doses and still couldn't make me sleep. Oh. Yeah. Okay, everybody see now how this blue is mixing beautifully with the brown? And that's what I wanted. Sherry says, changing sleeping or eating patterns, anything triggers mine. Sherry, what happened when you moved down to your new place? Did that trigger your migraines as well? All right, let me brush this off. Now I'm going to add a few lines of pink in here. And you'll see in a second, yeah, I'll bet you that move was really tough on you. Alright, now I realize this floor looks a little messy and a little wonky, but I'm headed to something here. And what I'm doing now to make this marble floor is I'm just adding little shots of pink in here. Okay. And then I'm going to come back with my ivory and blend it like crazy. Yeah, Sandy says, not sure why I get them, just know it's hard to want to do anything, just want to sleep. Yeah. Anybody have any questions how I'm making this marble looking floor? And the trick is, by blending it like I am, that's making that pattern zoom in. And notice how I'm pushing that paper into the pencil into the paper. Oh, Sandy, so you were supposed to go to dinner and play cards with friends today, but had to cancel. Zoom out. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom out. So what do you think? Now that's how I color a marble pattern on a floor. And then you can just go ahead and play with it. All right. Now, conversely, I happen to have some paper that I bought, pattern paper that has marble patterns on it. You saw it when I did that pond scene. I could have cut this out and put the paper behind it. Okay. I think we're good for now. I'm not going to do anything with the tiles right now. I think we're going to leave that sit. Questions, comments? Okay, we don't have too much more to do on this. We's in good shape. So really all I have to do now is the square rectangular tiles, finish up the flowers, we'll work on her jewelry, the cane, the eyes on the face, and we're done. Okay, and for anybody that came in late, this is Victorian Chibi by DAMITA. DAMITA, excuse me, D-A-M-I-T-A, Victoria. And as you can see, I've been using alcohol marker on it. Little Bo Peep all dressed up. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's work on Adam and Eve here. So Little Bo Peep all dressed up and Adam and Eve undressed. That just struck me funny. Think about it. Victorian outfits were very layered. Whee! All right. Honestly, I'm actually surprised that Facebook hasn't banned my picture because of nudes. Jeez. Okay, so Maddie's been working on this piece as well. She posted her progress. Looks great, Maddie. And I'm going to go through now and start working on my background trees. I just want to get a little more done on that. So I want to go ahead and pull my colors here. Give me a moment. I'm going to do that. I know they do have leaves, not totally nude, but Somebody may object to the breasts on the woman. Oh. Okay, get back here as my pencil rolls across the page. So now I'm going to go ahead and start working on my back trees. And remember, anything in the background is darker. Oh, and by the way, I was reading on the history of this piece. Maddie, I don't know if you were as well. But this was an advertising piece that Albrechet Durer did to show his skills. And that's why he's got this tag on it with his name. And that was according to what I read. But boy, what a piece to do, I'll tell you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this center tree here. Let me do one more thing. Bear with me. Okay, I've got my dark, medium, and light selected, and it is pretty dark. So this is my black raspberry, $10.95. So yeah, this was a commercial piece, and he just did it to submit, to show his skills. Zoom in. All right. Let me work from the top down, just because. So I've got my dark colors here, and again, for all of you skeptics about grayscale coloring, you can color over dark spaces and it looks beautiful. I'll tell you what, this is quite a piece just to show for an advertising piece, isn't it? Zoom in. And don't forget to roll your pencils. Okay, now we have the edge of this tree and this background, so we need to distinguish between the two so you can guesstimate where your tree's going to be. And then we've got a shadow underneath the face. Oh, by the way, in that article there was a discussion about why the faces looked masculine, even on Eve, and I forgot why. If somebody wants to look at that article real quick and tell us why, that would be great. Oh, I'm so sorry I bumped the camera. Excuse me. All right. And now I'm going to go to my light. This is a Sooty Style Color 066. Oh, so what I was saying about the nudity, I sent the article to you. I sent you the link in text. Or just go to Google, just Google the question, why do the faces with Albrechet Durer all look like men? Okay, so I've got my light color now. And this is where I want you to start doing your artistic thing. So this is where you're going to start blending your colors. Zoom in. And if you want to extend the areas a little bit, that's fine. This coloring, guys, is not N-O-T, fill in the blank, at all. Okay, and now I'm going to come in. Let's see here, we get a little color up here. And now I'm going to come back with my medium, and that is my brown ochre by Starjoy. And I think I think the Starjoy is, it's 103, I think. Hard to tell because it's rubbing off. All right, and this is where, with your grayscale, that we're going to go ahead and start blending our colors. Sandy said, Wanda working more on that picture that you printed. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go over here. And I want you to see now how beautifully all these colors are blending together now with our medium. And what I want you to notice, that all these layers of colors are working together beautifully to create your ultimate look. So Wanda, have you told anybody at work that you're publishing a coloring book? All right, let's take a quick look at this. Zoom out. Cool, what do they say at work? Can I have your autograph? Isn't that beautiful? Zoom out. Zoom out. And what I want you to notice now, that as we're getting this coloring, that depth is really starting to show up because we've got our trees in the background here. Okay, Maddie. I'll research it later on. I know that I've read it somewhere. I can't remember. Okay. Zoom in. Wanda said my friend and co-worker Teresa was with me this evening when I opened the package. She is very excited. Ooh! Cool. Okay. Now, the thing that I want to point out when you're doing grayscale like this is that there are always your dark, medium, and light spots. And sometimes it takes you having to color an area like in your dark in order to see the other two spots. And so as I'm doing that on the tree, you're starting to see the depth and dimension of the tree because of emphasizing the dark. Actually, no, I didn't tell anybody. So Wanda has sent me a picture from the next book for me to color for the back cover. So that will be fun to do as well. And notice now how I'm doing the dark shading, like I said, that the medium and the light colors are coming up beautifully. Am I going to color it with you? I hadn't thought about doing that, about coloring the back color with you guys. It's a distinct possibility. So when Wanda's here and I'm coloring it, she's going to go, "No, ILene, no." I'm going to see an N with lots of O's. No. All right, everybody see now how that tree is really starting to come out. Now remember, when you're doing your dark spots, don't drive it into the ground because you don't want your piece looking like a leopard. All right, so the tree's about here. And now I'm going to come back and do my light color. I remember reading that, Maddie, that it took Albrechet Durer 4 years to do this piece. Yep. Just for the sake of advertising. Isn't that wild? Okay. And now I'm coming in with my medium. So again, I'm using my medium color now to blend in. And remember guys, when you're putting in your colors to start, don't come in too dark. Otherwise, you're going to have little spots like a leopard on your page that you'll have to deal with and blend out. Oh my gosh, guys, this piece is beautiful. Zoom out. So Sandy says, wonder how long it took you do the coloring nook? I'm sorry, could you explain your question? Okay. Now I'm going to pop over to this tree over here because it's behind our first one, which is lightest. Oh, Sandy says it took him to make the coloring book. Okay. Sandy, Albrechet Durer did not publish this coloring book. This was published by someone who took a collection of his works. And put it into the book. This is done by a company called Pomegranate. Pomegranate. And they're the ones that took the different pieces and collected them. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and find my dark spots here on my next tree. And notice now that I'm coloring in all my dark spots. And again, I'm coloring it in such a way that they're just not, you know, blotches. Because remember, you're going to blend it with other colors. Alright, now notice that there aren't very many light spots on here at all. Here's like maybe 2 or 3. So I'm just going to hit those. And then I'm going to take the medium and go through and finish off this tree. And this is where now we are blending everything together. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. I'm going to make that a light background. And let me go ahead and bring that down. And guys, I can't emphasize enough how gorgeous this looks. I mean, I'm seeing it in person. And the colors are absolutely phenomenal. Zoom out. Zoom out. All right. So this tree that I'm working on now, I'm going to go ahead and take care of that dark segment. Now again, guys, don't press hard on your dark. If you use Starjoy or you use Prismacolor on this when you're doing a color, it's going to go down very easily, so you don't have to press hard, especially if you're using darker colors. Zoom in. Zoom in. Now, it gets a little wonky in here, and you need to make some decision as to what's what. Okay, a little bit showing through right there. Alright, so there's my dark. Amy says, not including the page I'm working on, I have 9 pages left in the Circle of Life book. I haven't even colored the cover page. Oh. Amy, when you're done, you're going to need to do a post in the group of all your pictures. We'll figure out a way to have you do that. Okay, so now I've got my light. Well, hello, Gizzy. Okay. And guys, I can't say this enough, but doing this Albrechet Durer is a great way to learn about coloring composition and shading. All right. Yeah, she could make her own album. That would probably be the best way to do it. Okay, and now I'm taking my medium color. Now, don't get lost here. Zoom in. Zoom in. Taking my medium color. And lightly coloring in. And I want you to notice that this is the original branch that Adam is holding on to, and that's still showing up beautifully. You can very distinctively see it. All right, let's get this last little piece done here. Oh man, guys, beautiful. All right, let's take a look. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Yeah, the other way she could do it is do a post in the group and then just keep adding the pictures. That would be the best way to do it. Anybody have any questions or comments about how this is done and how it looks? Yeah, Amy, that would be the best way when the time comes. And please coordinate with me. But just do a post in the group and then just add all the pictures in order, rather than do an album. Okay guys, what do you think? Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. This is what we've got so far. And you can see how beautifully these trees are starting to show up in the background. All right, any questions or comments about what I did? I think we're in good shape. I'm very happy with how everything's turning out. I'm loving Maddie's version of it. Rhonda, get yours posted, please. It'll be fun to look at the different color interpretations of this. Alright guys, this is ILene Vick for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. We've been working on Albrechet Durer. I hope you learned something. I hope you had fun doing it. Guys, joyous, joyous coloring. Yep, it's time already. Oops. Guys, be kind to each other. Please keep tabs on each other. Let's get some more notices to Paula Wade. Paulawade. Send her a little note. Alright guys, take care. I'll see you tomorrow night, same time, same place. Bye.